Hi everyone, welcome to this Google Digital Garage training session on social media strategy. My name is Benedict. I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. Just a bit about myself, I'm an experienced coding specialist and digital skills trainer, as well as having a background in the digital creative industry and have worked in this sector for over 20 years. I would also like to introduce our amazing moderator, Daryl. Daryl is also a Google Digital Garage coach and will be interacting with you and answering just about all your questions via instant chat. You can identify the moderator by his name, Daryl, as well as a little blue spanner next to his name. Now, just before we start, I just wanted to call out a few things to help you today. Firstly, if you're having any trouble viewing the webinar, please do try refreshing your page. If you would like to join the instant chat today, you do need a YouTube account, which you can very easily set up by clicking on the box on the right, which you'll see there. We will be pausing throughout the session to answer some of the questions which Daryl will kindly pass on to me, so please do feel free to fire away with your questions throughout. Just to let you know as well, we are running this Google Digital Garage virtual training as part of a broader offering of courses. If you would like to check out our schedule of upcoming webinar training, please see the information on this in the description below, which links you through to our website. Okay, excellent. It'd be really nice to hear where you're actually signing on from and everything. It'd be really nice to hear about that. So we've got at the moment, we've got hellos from Indonesia, welcome. Saeed, welcome. Abdu from Nigeria, hi from Matthew, welcome Matthew. Digital Valley, welcome here. And Mohammed, hello everyone, welcome. Aileen, Flavia, Kenley as well, good morning. And Sharik. Welcome everyone who's joined us today. It's a great opportunity. Now, just before we get started, just a couple of things I'm going to ask you as well. Maybe you're interested in working particularly with the social media and everything. Now, maybe you're a small to medium business considering starting social channel for your business. So we're going to be discussing largely the key skills to help you land that particular career, whether it's in social media or whether it's using social media to help your particular business. Okay. So here goes. So today we will be helping you particularly with how social media can actually help grow a business. Secondly, we're going to be looking at building a social media strategy and measuring success. And then thirdly, best practices for social media. We're going to look at some tips and actually look at those tools. All right. Now, before we get started with all of this, there's a great opportunity. Now, this is if at the moment, unfortunately, it's just in the UK. Hopefully, eventually this will develop and expand across to other parts of the world, which would be great. But at the present, it's only in the UK, I'm afraid. But if you are a small to medium business, great opportunity. It's totally free. There's no catch at all. You could be talking to one of us, could be speaking to Daryl, myself, or one of the other members of the team to help you and assist you with our particular own experience, because all of us have had an experience of working our own companies and marketing and all that kind of side. So it'd be a great opportunity to, to help you, building a strategy to finding more customers online. So you can sign up and book a session. And I want to thank you, Daryl. He's no doubt provided you there already with a link, or g.co/UK mentoring. So great opportunity. So if you are in the UK, small to medium business or charity, do take advantage of this great opportunity. Okay, so how social media can actually help grow a business. Because the big thing is social media, particularly nowadays, you can really truly help your business grow. So let us explore some of the ways it can help you do just that. And we're all aware of the impact it's had on our social communication, especially during the lockdown as well, during a time when people couldn't go out so much and everything. They've been more at home and they've relied a lot on the internet to find the different information often that they're looking for. And you could be providing that. Okay, so your customers live on social media. Okay. There are, YouTube and Facebook are by far the most popular platforms among UK adults online, respectively 85% and 78%. Now, there's also, of course, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, often mentioned in mainstream or trade media. And then the stickiest platforms are down as Facebook and WhatsApp and YouTube, because YouTube as well is actually social media. So it's a great opportunity for you to take advantage of these masses of people, 44 million active social media users in the UK, 1 hour 54 minutes average daily use. Now, I don't know about you, but certainly with my own family and my own children and everything, I know they spend a lot more time than 1 hour 54 minutes. So it's a great opportunity you can take advantage of. Okay, so to generate more sales, the big thing here is reaching new audiences. So with up to 84% of the UK population, now this is just a UK population, on some social media platforms, it makes a good place to connect with new customers. Now that said, it is not free and often requires investment in order to effectively reach the right audience. The other thing is create new opportunities, new business opportunities. It really does give you opportunity to connect with customers in different ways, such as facilitating competitions, for example, interactive. You know, there's different things that you can bring up which are very much live. You can have a live show as well. We've got a talk on live shows as well, getting started with live streaming as well. So there's many different things you can use this, our webinars to help you. Then there's the ability to really highly target demographics. From age to gender to lifestyle preferences and interests, you can micro-target a range of different audiences with much greater granularity, much more detail. And then you can build relationships and networks. The big thing is you can be building up a community of people, which is very important. And think about niche audience as well. Even though they are fundamentally free, you may need to pay to reach specific customers as well. All right. Now, add value to your brand. You know, raise customer service levels. Start a two-way conversation. You know, certainly with the lockdown and everything, people have needed that conversation. Whilst they haven't been able to go out and speak to people and everything, often they've had to rely on the internet as a place where they could communicate with people. And certainly social media is ideal for that. And then show a new side to your business. The big thing, you know, the story is just so ideal. If you think about films, which I have a passion for, of course, there's the story, there's the screenplay and everything that all comes into being, which is, you know, and it's so important. And people really get gripped by your particular story. They want to know about you. So, you know, you can be actually telling your story and showcasing your brand ethos as well. You know, it's a great way to showcase your brand. All right. And then you can really build your own community. All right. So improve your marketing. All right. So you can really help you get noticed on search. It can attract more people to your site. Because the thing is, people, if they really like what they see, it might take them a bit of time to warm up to what you're offering and everything. And then eventually, if you think about it yourself, if you go online, maybe you're looking at maybe videos on YouTube, for example, it might take a bit of time till you eventually click to watch that particular video. But if it communicates and helps the people, then you think, oh, well, I'll go back to that person. It's, you know, all these things are helpful. Then you can gain valuable customer insights, particularly as well. And also, when we say keep an eye on competitors, you can actually learn a lot from the different competitors and find out what they're doing and learn different ways that you can do it in your own particular unique selling way of doing it, unique selling point. All right. Okay, ask yourself these questions. The big thing is, if you can ask yourself these questions, it really does help get your brain working and everything. But the point is, you're here particularly for yourself, for your own company, your own brand, whatever you're going for. Marvelous. So start asking these questions. Are my posts on social media driving people to my website? Okay. Who are my most... And sorry, I'm going back to that question again. How are my posts on social media driving people to my website? And think about the ways that you can find out whether they really are doing that. Because don't forget, there's analytics with every single social media channel. There is some form of analytics to give you feedback on that. The other side is if you've got a website, you can set up Google Analytics, which is totally free, and you can get feedback and use that and find out which particular social media channels are working the best. And then who are my most influential followers? What kind of updates should I post? And when is the best time to engage with my audience? Because the big thing you can often find out from the social media itself, it'll help you with the different things where it's telling you the best times to actually be channeling some of these different important posts. And you can always find out this information to help you, because it's really important to make sure with your target that it's appearing at the right time, when they're going to have a chance to be able to sit down and actually investigate it further. Okay, so remember, the big thing is our attention span is very short. I think it always feels like such a criticism of us as human beings, but I do feel that considering the amount of different things around us, amount of different things on the internet, it's a little bit like when you go into the supermarket. There's so many different choices of the different brands, the different things and everything. You know, you often just want to get something quickly and buy it. So you know, we have now, there's the 8-second attention span, but really that does decrease rapidly on social media. And some estimate it to be actually 3 seconds. Because, of course, there's so many other different posts and everything to look through. So the content you create has got to be good enough to stop someone's thumb scrolling past. Now, lots of other brands to compete with, or attention, which means you need to work extra hard to really stand out. What is the unique thing that you're offering that people will really like, will resonate with? And it's a misconception that social is a free way of growing your audience, whether you're investing in ads in order to reach the people, or investing with people, resource or content creation. Make sure you clearly define your goals so you can really ensure you're getting a good return on your investment. And make sure you are careful in what and how you post to avoid, public relations disasters. Because don't forget, once it's published, it's out there and the public can see. Okay, once it's public, it's public. So this is a warning. All right, excellent. So pausing for questions. Let me see now. Excellent. Let me see now. So Mohammed, how to link my social media site with Google Analytics? Very good question. Excellent. So the big thing there is within Google Analytics, you can find out how people are actually finding your website. Now, this is all directed towards your website. Okay, so that's a way you would actually find the social media site. And you would go on to Google Analytics. Don't forget, we've got a talk particularly on Google Analytics to help you. If you're here in the UK, do book a session and we can take you through a little bit more step by step. But the thing is, through Google Analytics, you can actually find how people are finding you. And with that, with the audience and everything, you can actually see which particular posts and everything are actually sending across to your website, what they're reading, how they're accessing it, because it'll give you a lot of feedback on how, the different channels. You go to all channels and you can see all the different channels that are actually bringing in people to see your website. Obviously, some will be the search, organic search, that's great, but you can see how highly rated the different search engines are rated, and you can use that to help you a lot. Engen, what is the difference between strategy and plan? Very good question. Yes. As I know Daryl did answer, planning is much more kind of future-oriented, as he did indeed say, and strategy is action-oriented. I think Daryl as well knows very much the gaming side as well, so he knows from that, he uses that well, great knowledge as well. It's planning for the future. The strategy is, as soon as you're there, action, what you're going to do according to what you're getting. So it's kind of that kind of planning, if you know what I mean. Yes, Saeed, to take attention to your website. Okay, what kind of content should we make? Okay, very good question, Saeed. Now, with your website, the big thing is what different people are actually looking for within the context of the social media. Now, don't forget, for your website, you need to examine to a certain extent the social media. See what your competitors are doing and learn from what their content is as well. Because don't forget, you've got to look for your particular unique selling point that you provide that other competitors don't provide. And you're offering that to them. So maybe you could do research into that using social media to find out as much as possible, see your competitors, see how they're doing and everything, and learn from that, okay? The other side is you can actually check out certain different posts. You can go on to the analytics, let's say it's Facebook, let's say it's tweet, whatever it might be. You can see the number of people who are actually clicking on that link and reading it. So you can verify the different posts and how they're doing, and you can learn from all of this experience, because the big thing is the more you can get from the feedback, the better. Because of course you've got to, we say in all of our different talks, and I know we repeat ourselves, but it is so vital, you need to understand your audience. So I hope that helps you a little bit, Saeed, because it's largely, learning from your competitors, learning from them, learning what people are searching for, learning what they're reading particularly, learning which particular social channels are leading directly to your website, all of those things. Another side which I'd recommend, if you have a website and everything, you don't have to have a website, but if you do have a website, other than setting up with Google Analytics, if you also set up some goals within Google Analytics. And nowadays, it used to be normally would be, they appear on that page that would go through, and that would normally be, thank you so much for buying from us, wherever it might be. But now it's got much more granular, much more advanced, and now you can actually you can check how long they're spending on a particular page and that kind of thing. And if they spend a long time, let's say it's a blog, then if they're, that kind of information you can get and set up for your goals. So don't forget, you can set that up within admin of Google Ads. Sorry, I beg your pardon. You can set that up within Google Analytics. Okay, so excellent. Thank you so much, Enjen, Mohammed, and Saeed, for those questions. Great questions. Let us move on to the next section now. So how to build a social media strategy. All right. Now, the big thing to get, make the most of the opportunity that social media can actually give to your business, you really do need to create a strategy and make use of insights available, both planning and strategy, both of them in this case, Enjen. So plan ahead and then strategy for what happens as well. Because the big thing is as well, a lot of people build up their planning, they plan for it, which is wonderful, which is really good. But the problem is they don't set up a strategy. In other words, they're not checking up the whole time on how it's doing and then making decisions on that. And that is so important, that you don't just put out the post saying, okay, I put out the post, but you actually learn from that procedure. And you learn the different strategies that you can put into place and to improve everything for your own company. Okay. So we will actually discuss what the key steps to building a strategy and what are the metrics to look out for when actually tracking your efforts. Now, metrics are the numbers and everything, the results. All right, so we're going to look at this now. So 5 steps to creating a social media strategy. All right. So first of all, define your audience. Who are your audience? Now, some of you might be thinking, but I'm just starting as a company, and that's absolutely fine. Use what you can find out about as much as possible from social media. There's even think with Google as well to get different feedback as well for planning, making the plans and everything. But the big thing is defining audience as soon as possible to start to build up the kind of persona of who your audience is. Okay. It might be as well that your company is very big and there are many divisions of it, and that's absolutely fine. Ideally, you center on one main persona. I mean, obviously, you can divide different posts and different ads for particular divisions of your audience. That's absolutely fine. But when we're talking about audience in this context, kind of your main clients, okay, then set your goals. Okay, then actually picking your platforms, what platforms are going to work the best. And of course, you can always use feedback to make that decision. Always feedback, use feedback to help you. Then find your social voice, your tone of voice. We have got one talk we have which is called Writing for Social Media. I'd highly recommend it. We talk about tone of voice and the way you're coming across and everything. I'm trained as an actor, so of course I quite love that one. But yeah, so we talk about the way you're putting yourself across and everything, the tone of voice, the way you're approaching the audience and all that kind of side. And then the big thing is, because of course you've got to remember, this is a full circle that you're going through. Decide what success looks like. What is success? How will you know that you've actually managed to achieve it, you know? So all of those different things. And something which can help sometimes with success to determine what success is possibly as well with your business goals as well. You can set it up so like it's a SMART goal, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, timely. And you can, you know, it's really, this is what I'm trying to achieve. This is what I'm trying to do as well, to just try and help you make sure that you're heading for that goal, and you can actually gauge what success is in that context. Okay, so step one, defining your audience. So who are they? Okay, as much description as you can get to, you know, even to the point where you can say they would call their pet this, because I mean, you know, you're trying to picture your main audience, you know, your persona is the person of your main audience. What are they into? Who or what influences them? And when are they usually online? That is very useful for your posts, when you're going to be boosting them, all that kind of side. And then which social media do they use? Okay, so if you can have more than one social media, what other social media would they look out for you as well? So all of this can help you. I mean, for example, if it's something like Facebook, for example, then if they're often on YouTube, for example, they may be watching videos, and you could maybe create a video format for it as well. So you're making sure that you're reaching them in two ways as well. Okay, so that's to give you an idea. So who are they? What are they into? Who or what influences them? When are they usually online? And which social media do they use? All of those different areas. Okay. So how to define your audience? Now, the most ideal thing is, of course, what most of us would prefer to be able to do is speak to real people to understand their needs and interests. Now, obviously, if you do have a store, or if you speak personally to these people, you know, if you've got a warehouse or whatever, or a place where you have your workshops, wherever it might be, and you can speak to them, then it's really nice, because then you have that form of communication. Even so, if you can't, then there's still, of course, social media. You can communicate with them as well, don't forget. But if you can speak to them, that will be wonderful. You can get a lot of information from that. And don't forget, you can learn a lot from the kind of questions that they ask. But the kind of questions that they ask, you may eventually use for some of your different blogs. Okay. I have a 2D, 3D, and whiteboard animation company, and I had a company who took me on for whiteboard animation as one of the top 3 consultancy companies. And their first question was, for this client, should I use 2D or 3D animation? So I mentioned that as well. I gave the pros and cons as well as whiteboard animation. And then 5 or 6 hours later, they called me. And they took me on. But what I found very useful is I took that question, 2D or 3D animation, and that was my most read blog. So the questions that people are actually asking, you know, that is very important, and you can use these to reach those people who are searching for those particular things. And then identify groups and segments that can be most attracted to your offering. All right. So once you've actually got the data, make sure you're able to segment this, you know, which means, you know, split them up into groups that you can now focus your marketing efforts around. So once you've got all of that clear, then you need to build an online survey for customers to complete. The difficulty often, which I'm sure a lot of you will feel is with surveys, they're great, they're wonderful, they're really useful, but the difficulty is getting them to fill in a survey. So it might be advantageous to you, maybe offering 20% off the next thing that you're providing or service that you're providing or something like that, if they fill in the survey or something like that. And if they actually visit you, if you can somehow persuade them to fill it in just before they go, because I know with myself, if I leave a place, I go, oh yeah, I'll fill in the survey, and then I forget or whatever. And so it's really important to do it kind of fresh in that moment as soon as they've finished it. Okay. Now, the big thing is finding your insights from the different platforms. All right. So we're going to have a look at the different kinds of platforms that you're going to be using. Now, most social media platforms offer analytics built in. In fact, I don't know of any which don't. These are just a few examples of analytics from various platforms, okay? So, we've got a combination of many different ones here, so you can actually see the different results we've got here. Unfortunately, I can't enlarge it a little bit, but you've got the different results here, and you can see the graphs and everything to help you give an idea of the number of the people. I think in the first graph we've got the number of people and new people in the lighter blue. And then you've got age and gender, that's with the Facebook one there. And you've got a certain age range particularly and certain gender, but you can get a lot of information from that to help you, all right? And then, of course, there's the audience engagement, how long they spend on the different pages, what they're particularly interested in, what they read, and how to learn from that. And then, of course, tweak and change your pages to make sure that it's, meeting what they're looking for. Okay, so that gives you a sort of run over of some of the different feedback ones that you can actually be using. All right, there's many different things you can use. Just to return to this one again, I mean, of course, certainly from Google Analytics side, there is Google Analytics, which gives you masses of information, can be quite overwhelming. There's also Google Search Console. Daryl, if you give them a link for Google Search Console, as soon as your website appears on the internet, Google detects it and gets information, as much information with its spiders and bots, insect paradise, to, of course, good spiders and bots, to check out your website. And then it includes it in the Google search index. So once it's got all that information, then, of course, but the big thing is you need to, well, you don't need to, but it would be ideal if you can communicate with Google and find out what's going on with your website. If Google is having some issues with some pages or something, or if you haven't optimized your images, which is, cutting down on the wavelength and making sure that it's compressed before it's uploaded and everything, so it takes less time to upload, or that you've got alternate text, for example, for your images, so people who have problems with their sight or are blind, to make sure that their computer can read the alternate text about the website and the images particularly. So all of that, you can be getting feedback from Google if there's any issues with your web page. Okay, that's particularly for web page. And then also it gives you a little bit of information on how people found your website. Now, of course, I've already mentioned Google Analytics. Google Analytics has got masses of information, which is absolutely fabulous. Google Search Console is maybe a nice sort of preemption, a nice way to start. You know what I mean? Get you sort of ready for Google Analytics. Don't forget, there's another one. Which is actually, I'd recommend, which is Google Analytics Academy. Now, Daryl, that's fabulous. If you can give them the link for that, it's just so useful. Now, if you are setting, okay, I've got to be careful how long I carry on this one, but I think I'm doing all right with the time-wise. But don't forget, now, there's Google Analytics version 3. And as of next year, and certainly if you're signing on with Google Analytics now, it'll be automatically putting on to Google Analytics version 4, which is the latest version. Now that's all fine and good. I'll just help you a little bit with it. If you go into Google Analytics, you're registered with it, you go into analytics.google.com, you go there, you go into admin, which is the cog in the bottom left corner. You have a look there. If you have 3 columns facing you, it means you're on Google Analytics version 3. If you've got 2 columns facing you, you're on Google Analytics version 4. Now, of course, Google Analytics version 4 is a more up-to-date version, but most people are used to Google Analytics 3. And at present, according to the last time I checked on it, Google Analytics Academy is briefing you and helping you with Google Analytics version 3. So long as, if you go into the admin and check it out, if you know that you're on Google Analytics version 4, you can, okay, maybe if it doesn't quite match, you'll know why. Okay. If you have just started with Google Analytics or you're about to get started, it'll put you into Google Analytics 4. Just a couple of the different differences. You go into admin with Google Analytics 3, you go into tracking, and then you get the tracking ID. But Google Analytics 4, you go into the admin, and then you go into data streams, and then you look for the measurement ID. And the measurement ID is what you put instead of the tracking ID into all the headers of all your pages. Okay. The other thing is with the report, there's a difference because Google Analytics 3, there's behavior, and with Google Analytics 4, it's changed to engagement, which is a bit more logical and a bit more, just fits better. And then with the conversion, now conversion has changed across to monetization, just to help you. Okay, so that's just to recount on those things. All right, so defining your goals. Don't forget, if there's anything you missed you want to go over, don't forget you've got, no doubt Daryl's informed you already, but you've got 24 hours after I finished, roughly 24 hours, you can go back and have a look at the video. Same URL and everything, should work fine. And then you can catch up because you'll see all the chat there on the side and everything. Okay. All right, the big thing here now, we're going to be looking at how do you actually translate your business goals into social goals? What I'm talking about here is business goals. Okay, business, okay, like in the real world, you've got a business, this is our address, this is what we sell, this is what kind of business goal in that context, and social goals into social goals, social media, how you're attracting, how you're communicating with them, all those kind of different things. And how you're going to use your channels as a tool to building rapport, you know, networking with influencers, find brand advocates, all of those different things. So giving better customer service, define your particular goals, you know, growing brand awareness, it could be, generating more sales, getting more people on your site, or connecting with influencers. There are some of the different things. Okay. Now, we recommend that you, we've got something which is called the double diamond framework to problem solving, okay? And it consists of those 4 Ds you got there on the screen. Discover, all right, what the goal is and how it actually helps your business. Define, what are the things that could get in the way? The challenges, should we call it, not obstacles, challenges. Develop, what do you need to achieve this goal? And deliver, how can you remove those barriers or challenges? So, okay, so those 4 things: discover, define, develop, deliver. So if you write these 4 down, and go through them for yourself, or what you're trying to achieve, because that can really help you sort of really define what you're going for. Okay, so discover, define, develop, deliver. Okay. Now, step 3. Now, choosing your channels carefully. All right. You know, the business focus or lifestyle focus. What kind of focus is this one particularly? You know, start with one. Test it, learn, try another. The big thing is don't overwhelm yourself with just too many different channels. You can overwhelm yourself quite quickly. And as you know, the biggest thing that one has to invest in often is your own time. And the difficulty is often for a lot of people, they don't have as much time as they would like for spending on marketing their own company, their own brand. And yeah, so just do it slowly, bit by bit. You know, different channels need different strategies, okay? And of course, don't just be on it for the sake of it. It won't add much value, you know, but it will actually add a lot of extra work, remember. So, you know, probably live on, you know, it could be Facebook, it could be Snapchat, WhatsApp, etc., you know. just consider what is the most appropriate for you to find your particular channels to get across to them, and which channels are right for you. You know, it can depend on business to business, which is often, not always, but one of them, of course, is LinkedIn, which often uses that, or business to customer. You know, which one is best? And then pick out the business to business, you know, knowledge based, you know, is it SlideShare, you know, interior designs? Can they download a PDF with information about all of this? And you can also, don't forget, track that as a goal, which is really useful. Okay. But start with one and work up. Careful you don't overwhelm yourself with too much. All right, we're going to go through a couple of the different platforms here. So Twitter is good for particularly quick fire conversations. That's the way it started. It was Twitter. It was just the quick comment and everything. Now, of course, it's expanded. Yes, you can have a lot longer text on it. Yes, you can even have videos and all the rest. But it was particularly for quick fire conversations. That's what it was originally really set up for, and particularly as a public relations tool. Okay. And we got here Dollar Shave Club, you know, speaking the tone of their manly audience, you know, simply use of polls to reinforce their products, easy and quick to make. So how often do you change your DSC blade? No right answers here, folks. Well, that's not true. That's okay. So you're communicating with them and you're asking questions and all the rest. So create a professional looking profile, header image, and at name, of course. And then get noticed and join conversations by using relevant hashtags as well. Ask questions and run polls as well. Retweet and engage with content, you know, your customers would really like. And then, you know, you can use pinned tweets as well. Okay, with Facebook, this Facebook, of course, as you know, has been very useful, particularly for communication. It's well known for that kind of side. You can be linked to your main website. It's particularly on the side of sort of people's birthdays, not always, not the only thing, but often is used for that kind of side. We have here Proper Tasty. Okay, Italian style bolognese, okay, and the full recipe and everything, and going through the process. It's very much a visual channel, which can really make that thumb stop on you, particularly if you're providing what they're really looking for. And change the call to action button. So shop now, contact, buy now, for example. And then you can use GIFs and videos to generate interest and shares. Okay, so all of those things can really help you. With the Proper Tasty here, we've got fast, quick, indulgent recipes, videos. You can use of popular ingredients, makes the videos viral, and tapping into trend for videos and culture of tagging friends and content on Facebook as well. Okay. Then we've got Instagram. Of course, as you know, this is particularly around photos and videos. Consistent. The big thing here is use your photo caption to tell a story. This is ideal, of course. Get people interested in it. Make sure you keep consistent brand element in every image. And high quality, consistent colors, you know, showcasing your products in creative ways, and don't disrupt the consumer's feed. All right. So, and don't go too far with hashtags, okay, just a couple as well. And then follow influencers, brand, or people. Okay, then of course there's LinkedIn, is great for recruitment. Encourage your employees to become brand advocates as well. You can make your company page search engine friendly. Okay, you can be, the big thing is here, we've got here as well, L'Oreal, posting thought leadership blogs and talent tips, posts around 4 pieces of content per day, and there's a wide range of content that is open to anyone. Interviews employees for an insider insight, which is really useful. So all of these different things, most typically LinkedIn is associated most with business to business. Okay, it doesn't only have to be that, but often it is in that context. All right, YouTube. Now, YouTube is actually the most popular video sharing insight. You know, you can get, you can show anything from product reviews to your latest ad. Now, my wife teaches, and she had a little bit more time at home. She was still a key worker, but during the lockdown. but she got into sewing particularly, found this great passion. We've now got a gigantic monster of a machine which sings a tune whenever you turn it on and can do words and everything with it. And of course, often I'll find her falling asleep in front of another YouTube video that she's watching. Of course, sewing is a very intricate, very detailed thing. But a lot of people do go onto YouTube to check out certain things, to find out different things. And you could be a thought leader and create shareable content with this. And you could think about creating useful videos, of course, for your audience. And, you know, look for potential collaborators as well, which is very useful. And you can also make a simple video. Of course, you could actually make one which is 3 minutes long. There's Creator Academy as well. Thank you very much, Daryl. I'll provide you there with a link. There's Creator Academy there to help you, to assist you with the whole process of getting videos ready and everything, putting them out there. But a lot of people want to see you in person. They'll look for pictures on your internet to see you in person. And then if you're actually providing them with advice, then it's really helpful for them. They can see it there, and that's just so helpful. Okay. Now, your brand's social voice. Okay, now there's brand guidelines, of course. The big thing here, there are a few elements of the brand guidelines to be aware of, you know, logo, tone of voice, images, those kind of areas. So this is now step 4, your brand's social voice. If you're actually hiring someone to run your social campaigns, you can ensure that they follow these guidelines and keep your brand tone consistent. Very, very important if you're getting someone else to run it. And then use handy image creation software such as Canva, for example, it's free, to create images that fit your brand. We have, as I said before, writing for social media. That can help you a lot, okay? Then as a brand, you know, your voice may adopt a particular tone that resonates well with your consumers. Make sure anyone who is posting on your behalf really does adhere to this tone so the audience can gain familiarity with it. This is a big thing. You know, is your tone friendly or provocative? Is your tone fun or serious? You know, think about how your customer would actually react to the said tone. Is it formal or is it casual? Think about how your customer would react to said tone, okay? You don't have to have one tone of voice only. But, you know, you might set some principles to stick and then adjust the tone according to the type of content and platform. You know, people love a glimpse of what's going on. So for news, you know, behind the scenes is a great one, you know. Another one is very important that you sometimes pause with your different presentation, because you've got to keep everyone, of course, making sure that they're still, their attention span and everything is there. So changing all of those different things can help. All right. This is a great case study. This is the This Girl Can campaign. It was huge on social media, continues to be so. And the big thing here, you know, we've got under these gloves is a beautiful manicure. It's kind of the, and I also know the offside rule. Sweating like a pig, feeling like a fox is kind of challenging a lot of the sort of stereotypes and everything. And what is it? Think about the tone of voice they actually use in this campaign, and which channels do you think they really use? So have a look, examine a little bit of that. There are some articles. Thank you, Daryl. I will give you some articles there to help you, but it really does give you an idea as well of some which are quite challenging, really challenging people, but standing up for people as well, and all these kind of different things, and changing the way people see things, and thought leaders as well, this whole kind of side. So how do you think the choices of tone and platform influence the success of the campaign that you are running? Very, very important. Okay, defining success. All right. The big thing, of course, especially with something like Google Analytics to help you, it can be very overwhelming. Don't get distracted by the wrong numbers, of course. What was your goal? You know, the number of followers can be a distraction. depending what you're actually really going for. Is it communication with the people? Is it just building up that community, that you're getting more people who are regularly visiting your website or following you? What particular things are you going for? So if you can, and sometimes you might set a smart goal and might turn out completely differently, but still, can you learn from that? Is there something you can benefit from? You know, even if it was not a success that you defined what you wanted to go for, is there something further that you can get from? You know, because the whole point is all of these things, it's providing you with some form of feedback, but make sure you don't get too distracted by, for example, the number of followers, got to hit that number and everything. Don't get too distracted by it. All right, and of course, engagement is often important as well. What they're actually spending time, have a look. Their length of time on the different pages. Are there some things they all leave? If there's some point, what can you learn from that? And what success actually means for you might change over time. As I was saying, you know, you might learn from that, even though you didn't achieve it, you might learn a lot from it. So, okay. Now, consider paying. Organic reach, of course, can only take you so far. Especially with websites, it can take you a long time. It's the same with posts as well. Posts, you're only communicating often with your the followers, and then the followers of the followers, and so the people you're actually reaching is quite small often. So, you know, a few platforms make it difficult to gain reach without actually paying for it. Now, it works really well if your goal is more sales and growth, particularly, of course. So, you know, there's the different sides, important across all platforms, especially if your goal is more sales. So that's kind of the different things. I mean, certainly with website as well, we all want organic search result, which is down at the bottom there. But sometimes we need to put ads just to reach out to them immediately, get them on board. And don't forget, you can use social media, for example, things like, you know, YouTube or whatever it might be, and then people will search for particular videos to do with that, and that can also help. Bringing everything together. So I'm going to now recap on what we've covered and, okay, the different things we've done before we get on to the questions. And I see some great questions here. All right. So, defining your audience and how to make things relatable to them. The big thing is your audience is so important. Business goal, set one business goal and really how to mitigate any barriers or any obstacles or any challenges, shall we say. And then choosing one or more channels, okay? And then think about the tone of voice and potential content for specific channels. And then constructing some ideas on defining success. What is success? All right, on to the questions. Fabulous. So, Wai Yi, my apologies, I'm doing my best with the pronunciation. Hi from Malaysia, welcome. May I know if Facebook ads is still useful to boost awareness? Absolutely. As Daryl helped you with largely there, it does depend where your audience is actually spending their time. The big thing is always the audience. Facebook ads can be very useful, but you've got to find out as much as possible to know where they are hanging out. Don't forget, you can learn a lot from your competitors to assist you with that matter. Okay? Also, if you do put a Facebook ad, do check out on the returns on investment, you know, see how it's doing. One of the difficult sides though with Facebook ads, it can take a bit of time. I'll see a video, maybe it's advertised, whatever. It'll take me a long time till I actually click and think, okay, fine, maybe this person will be able to answer the question. But it takes a bit of time for people to get used to you and what you're providing. So yeah. It can help. It certainly can help. It's just the people that you're reaching and everything. And at the end of the day, it's got to really return on investment at the end of the day. Mina Nihad, after the boom of social media, very true, do you think creating a blog is still a good idea to create content. Absolutely. Blogging is really ideal. If you think of the octopus, I think of blog as being like an octopus. You're providing so many different things that you're talking about. Now, don't forget we've got Google Trends. Google Trends is totally free, and you can use Google Trends to help you with different topics of what people are searching for. Often it's quite difficult to get when you're going very specifically in what you're on the topic and everything. But you know, if you have got a website, if you do set up Google Ads, you've got access to, for free, Google Keyword Planner. You know, you don't have to pay for that at all, and you can actually be using that as well to give you some ideas for topics. Always think of the topic of your blogs, that they're what people are searching for. And one of the big things to help you there is what people are asking you, or are asking your competitors, or are asking of your friends, whatever it might be, who are potential clients. Learn from that and then use that possibly as a title, like I did when I put in 2D or 3D animation. So all right, so yes, I would definitely really consider that, because of course as well, the nice thing about the blog as well, same with social media as well, you're putting across your personal story. You know, people are often really looking for that. They want to see if they resonate with you or not. And the point is, people don't go on the internet only to buy. Some, of course, will, and of course, sometimes we will be going on the internet to buy. But often people are looking for a solution, making a decision, want to check out the kind of the landscape, check out the different things around those particular topics. And the more that you're coming across to them, either in a blog or in a YouTube video or whatever kind of video it might be, or on social media, on Instagram, or, you know, on Facebook, so many, whatever you're coming across on, people will start to eventually see you as an expert, because you know, they can see that they can see that you know what you're talking about. And often you're hitting exactly head on the nail, hammer head on the nail, that you're hitting exactly what they're looking for. So that can be really useful. Okay. All right. Surbi Sharma. When we have to start, should we have to start working together on all social media together? That's an interesting concept. To assist each other, certainly, without a doubt, because of course social media is very much a social platform. So if you communicate through social media, and if you have colleagues who do something maybe different, but they work together, and it's not so much competition, but they both work together well, then obviously help each other out with that, without a doubt. That'll help enormously. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Mina, Survi, and Wai, for your questions. Let me move on to the next section now. So, tools and best practices. Now, your social channels, of course, are often public. So, you know, here are some best practices and tips, you know, you can use to make sure your strategy succeeds. Okay, here we go. Now, what sort of content should we share? All right. Of course, people love a glimpse of what's actually going on, you know, behind the scenes. So try sharing announcements, all right? Could be a new product, could be a new service that you're providing. Create useful how-to content, so important. If you can actually provide that information, people will often how-to 10 easy fixes to 10 simple ways, 10, you know, all these different things often come up. And of course, run a theme or regular content feed, and then show your personality and that there's a human behind it. It's so important. People love that, the non-promotional side. They're gaining so much from it because they're getting to know you and your company. And then, of course, product or brand related, you know, product tips or tricks. That's so helpful. If you're selling mountain climbing boots, let's say, and you're selling a particular kind of boot, which is great, as your own particular brand and everything, but at the same time you're talking about the different kinds of glue that is used, but you're showing like you know what, then they're still going to go, oh, this person sells them as well. They know what they're talking about. I'll buy those shoes. You know, can happen indirectly. So, and then responses. It's very important engaging with a customer or influencer. It's very important as well. There's as well, of course, get some water to keep me going here. Operational, of course, job openings, that kind of thing, recurring content, seasonal sales, that kind of thing. Communicate that with them. But don't try and avoid posting the same across all channels. All channels are just slightly different, okay? And just not the same content again and again. All right, we're going to now have a look at 2 or 3 pieces of content you could create, the tone of voice and channel you will publish it on. So let's have a look. So experiences worth sharing. All right. So going back to your list and think of ways you can encourage your audience to engage with your brand and how you can make the engagement authentic. That's what people are particularly looking for, relatable and timely. All right. So tips for sharing content. Use particularly great graphics. All right. Another couple of things as well. Use great graphics. So there is Canva, for example. That's, there's other resources you can be using. Canva is great because it's free and everything. It's affordable. You can create quality social media graphics. And their library of social media layouts are free to use as many times as you like, so making it easy to update your social profiles regularly. Thanks so much, Daryl. He's providing with a link. Then also with checking up your grammar, Grammarly. Thanks so much, Daryl. Helps you to check all your writing for grammar mistakes and can be added as an extension on your browser. And then manage your social media accounts. There's Hootsuite, for example. That's a very useful application for managing social media network channels, often referred to as a social media management system or tool. It enables you to view multiple streams at once and monitor what customers are saying. And one of the most useful features is to actually schedule posts in advance, because you can plan all of this well in advance. It allows you to schedule messages across all your favorite social media platforms in advance. It enables you to create a solid social media strategy that encompasses crucial times and postings and everything. All right. Now, you've got the knowledge, now let's see it in action. So set goals for a strategy. Okay, define a tone of voice for the audience and content and choose the right platforms to focus on. Okay, let me just see if there's any further questions on that one. None at the moment. Wonderful, but it's wonderful. Been so great, all your questions so far and your contributions. Thank you so much. So my next question is, what are your next steps? There's a lot to actually take away. Masses. I've communicated with you and everything. Don't forget any last questions. We are running out of time though, but free one-to-one mentoring. That's certainly if you're part of a small business or charity in the United Kingdom. Sign up for Google Mentoring at g.co/UK mentoring. Thank you very much, Daryl, for finding the link again. You can speak to one of us and we can help you and assist you as best we can. And we love to help. Both Daryl and I and all of us, we love to assist you and help you to the best of our abilities. So do sign up for that, and we'll do our best to try and help you with all these different things with your business. Okay, everyone, I want to thank you for all your questions. We're going to wrap up here as we are now officially out of time. Well, 1 minute left. I hope that has been a useful dive, particularly into really social media strategy. As I mentioned at the beginning of the session, if you're interested in more training for Google Digital Garage, there are a few ways you can continue learning. We're running Google Digital Garage webinars in different subjects. It'd be great if you could check out the schedule of webinars. Please see information in the description below. There will be different topics available to watch, and we'll be updating the schedule regularly. Also, if you would like to carry on learning online in your own time, there's Google Digital Garage website for more online training courses, which are available to you 24/7. One, for example, Fundamentals of Digital Marketing, I highly recommend. Also, we are starting to do a lot of outreach projects. We're going to different parts of the UK, all very exciting. So do check out if it's in your neighborhood and everything, or nearby enough so you can come and visit. And I want to thank Daryl, you've been absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining today. We look forward to welcoming you again to another Google Digital Garage training session soon. Thank you.